We're lucky to live in a world full of amazing and wonderful things, but there are plenty of them that don't get the credit they truly deserve. You've probably heard of the Colosseum in Rome and the Great Machu Picchu, but what about the breathtaking wonders we're about to show you in this video? Some of them are so mind-blowing they might seem unreal, but they're not. And if you're someone who loves to explore, you can go and see each one of them for yourself. Number 15. Ismmitarcophagus. In western Turkey, archaeologists in the city of Izmit confirmed in May 2022 the discovery of a sarcophagus featuring a compelling inscription. The engraved text identifies it as the resting place of a protector of the divine flank, who was one of the most senior ranks within the ancient Roman imperial guard. This marks only the 8th sarcophagus ever linked to such a title. It's also the first of its kind to be discovered in Turkey, and the only one found with both grave offerings and skeletal remains intact. The find emerged during a routine archaeological survey carried out before constructing a new building for the local water and sewer administration. That same excavation revealed 51 Roman-era burials within an acropolis, though none matched the prominence of this tomb. The inscription states, "To the spirits of the dead, I, Tampo, protector of the divine flank, restore my monument. Born in Dacia Minor, lived 50 years. His wish for burial solitude seems to have been respected. It's just a great find." Number 14. Hoa Hakananaya. This Moai statue stands alone in London. Though its exact age remains uncertain, like its counterparts, it's estimated to date between 1000 and 1600 CE. Called Hoa Hakananaya by the island's inhabitants, translating to stolen friend, the statue was seized in 1868 by British sailors. Sculpted from basalt, the figure exhibits classic Moai traits: a prominent brow, nose, elongated ears, and hands positioned over a rounded torso. Additional carvings later added to its back include depictions of birdmen, a ceremonial paddle, and Manutara, a sacred figure. Some engravings remain unidentified. The Moai was presented to Queen Victoria, who donated it to the British Museum in 1869, where it remains displayed. The Chilean government has since claimed ownership, while Rapa Nui descendants continue advocating for its return. British authorities resist repatriation, citing insufficient conservation infrastructure on the island. The statue symbolizes deep cultural loss, prompting ongoing debate around restitution and colonial legacy. Number 12. Mangareva deity figure. This carved wooden figure originates from Mangareva Island and represents a male deity. It was built in the late 18th century, and the sculpture was surrendered to English missionaries as the island's inhabitants adopted Christianity. It was finally acquired by the British Museum in 1911. European missionaries first arrived on the island in the early 1800s, leading to widespread destruction of indigenous religious objects. However, this figure survived, possibly because of intervention by local chiefs or collectors. Thought to have been obtained by the London Missionary Society around the 1820s, it was later transferred to Britain. Made from native polished wood, the figure remains mostly intact, though missing sections of its limbs. It features stylistic elements unique to Mangarevan art. Scholars debate its identity. It may represent Rongo, the god of agriculture, or one of Mangareva's primary deities. Regardless of its exact origin, the statue embodies the cultural legacy of a spiritual world forcibly replaced, but not entirely erased. Number 12. The 2013 meteorite in Sri Lanka. Whenever a meteorite or asteroid crashes into Earth, it opens up a rare opportunity to learn more about matter and life beyond our own planet. While we haven't uncovered concrete proof of alien existence yet, fragments like this meteorite that landed in Sri Lanka in 2013 could edge us closer. Professor Chandra Wickramasinghe, who personally examined the object, insists it contains undeniable traces of fossilized algae, originating from beyond Earth. If validated, that would be historic. However, his finds were quickly challenged. Critics argue that the meteorite was tainted after landing, allowing algae from Earth to seep in. But even so, that still wouldn't account for the fossils embedded within. Though they resemble Earth-based fossils, similarity doesn't equal sameness. If authentic, this could support the idea that life spreads from planet to planet through rock. It may sound dreamy, but even if the meteorite story remains unresolved, it keeps the possibility of interplanetary life transfer alive and under serious consideration. Number 11. Gold ruby glass cup. In May 2023, the Rijksmuseum acquired a rare gold ruby red glass vessel crafted by Johann Kunkel, a renowned 17th-century German alchemist, apothecary, and glass artisan. Dating to around 1685, the cup demonstrates Kunkel's mastery in fusing gold compounds into glass to produce a vivid, saturated red hue. Fewer than 24 examples of his early ruby glasswork remain today, making this shell-shaped calyx cup, engraved with frolicking putti among vines, a standout artifact. The engraving is credited to Gottfried Spiller, a master glass engraver celebrated for his work on ruby glass. The cup's body, resembling a cut gemstone more than blown glass, fits into the Wunderkammer tradition of collecting marvels spanning art, science, and nature. While using gold in glass was known in antiquity, it was Kunkel who refined the recipe and published a formal treatise. His technique elevated ruby glass to luxury status, believed even to hold medicinal value. But as we know, the complete truth only God knows. Number 10. The Sky Stone of Sierra Leone. Everyone understands oxygen as a gas. It's the most essential part of the air we breathe. Solid oxygen is beyond strange, but in 1990, Italian geologist Angelo Pittoni claimed to have found just that. The stone in question, found in Sierra Leone, is vivid sky blue and bafflingly resistant to heat and acid. Pittoni said it was tested at the University of Utrecht and remained unaffected even when heated to 3,000 degrees Celsius. Chemical analysis reportedly showed it contained over 77% oxygen, with the rest being carbon, calcium, and a still unidentified element. Despite the intense color, nothing in its composition explains the hue. Radiocarbon dating suggested it was 55,000 years old. Pittoni called it Sky Stone and held on to it until he died in 2009. Since then, its whereabouts are unknown. Without access to the real sample, verifying his claims is impossible, but if even part of his story holds up, then this material challenges every scientific rule we know. Number 9. Lover's eyes. In the early 19th century, British aristocrats embraced a trend that added a layer of mystery to their romantic connections. Lover's eyes, also known as eye miniatures. These distinctive jewelry pieces flourished during the Georgian period and featured detailed depictions of only the beloved's eye. While portraits had long adorned personal items, this focused portrayal on just the eyes was something new. The practice surfaced during the French Revolution, but gained prominence in Britain, mainly due to the influence of the Prince of Wales, later George IV. Known for his romantic entanglements, he famously gifted Maria Fitzherbert a painted miniature of his eye, created by Richard Cosway, alongside a marriage proposal. Though their union was quickly dissolved under royal pressure, the gesture launched a widespread fascination. These intimate mementos offered a tactile tie between wearer and subject, cultivating emotional closeness. Today, fewer than 1,000 lovers' eyes from the 1780s to 1830s have survived. Number 8. 17th century foldable ring. This ring conceals an intricate secret. Known as an armillary sphere, the tiny device was both ornament and instrument, designed to represent the universe. These rings, believed to have originated independently in both China and Greece, unfold into a miniature celestial model. Most featured a central orb, symbolizing either the Earth or the Sun, and movable bands inscribed with zodiac signs or celestial markers. Simpler versions had 2 rotating bands. More elaborate ones carried up to 8, some even marked with lines of celestial longitude and latitude. Though many were ornamental, a handful could be used for rudimentary astronomical calculations. These rings peaked in popularity during the 18th century, worn as status symbols denoting wisdom, education, and refinement. With their blend of scientific curiosity and fancy artistry, these compact mechanisms allowed wearers to carry a metaphor of the cosmos on their finger. Reminders that the heavens have long fascinated both scholars and artisans alike. Number 8. 2,000-year-old receipt. Back in May 2023, Israeli archaeologists confirmed the amazing discovery of a 2,000-year-old financial inscription along the pilgrimage road in the city of David. The artifact, believed to be a receipt, sheds light on economic activities during the Second Temple era. Unearthed by the Israel Antiquities Authority, the small chalkstone slab features faded yet legible Hebrew script, including partial names, symbols, and numeric shorthand. One line ends with Shimon, followed by the Hebrew letter Mem, while others include symbols representing monetary values, likely abbreviations for money and quarters. Though similar records have surfaced in Jerusalem and Beit Shemesh, this is the first located within ancient Jerusalem's historic core. The slab was likely repurposed from an ossuary, indicating localized use. The pilgrimage road, a central route for both worshippers and traders, contextualizes the document's function in daily urban commerce. Number 6. Galileo's geometric compass. Galileo Galilei is best remembered for challenging geocentric models of the universe, but his genius wasn't limited to the stars. In 1597, he invented the geometric and military compass, a tool designed for practical calculations in both engineering and warfare. Unlike a drawing compass, this device enabled users to determine proportional measurements, solve arithmetic problems, and execute precise geometric operations. The legs of the compass were etched with a variety of specialized scales, reflecting the wide range of applications Galileo envisioned. This particular surviving model, crafted in 1606, offers a glimpse into his mechanical insight. It predates the slide rule by decades, serving as a kind of analog calculator long before such concepts were common. The tool also allowed military engineers to calculate cannon trajectories and fortification angles. While it didn't bring him many friends among rival scholars, the compass solidified Galileo's reputation as an inventor. And this guy is still popular today. Number 5. Victorian coffin torpedoes. During the 19th century, grave robbing became such a widespread concern that some families took extreme measures to protect their loved ones' remains. Among the most inventive deterrents was the coffin torpedo. The first design, patented in 1878 by Ohio inventor Philip K. Clover, was a booby trap rigged inside a coffin lid. If disturbed, it would trigger an explosive charge filled with lead pellets, enough to fatally wound the intruder. A more advanced version was patented in 1881 by Thomas N. Howell. It worked like a pressure-activated landmine. While gruesome by modern standards, these devices were seen as necessary in an age when body snatching was driven by demand from medical schools. The macabre industry faded by the early 20th century, and so did the torpedo coffins. Few survive today, but records of them remain. For a short time in American history, it wasn't the dead that needed protection, but the peace of those they left behind in the ground. What do you think about it? Well, let us know. Number 4. The Victorian face glove beauty treatments in the 19th century could be as harsh as they were ambitious. In 1875, Helen Rowley introduced the face glove, originally called the toilet mask. Made of rubber, the mask was designed to be worn overnight, 3 times a week. Rowley believed that inducing heavy sweating would cleanse the pores and improve blood circulation, clearing blemishes and enhancing complexion. The inside of the mask was filled with chemical salves and bleaching agents meant to amplify its effects. Though the product never became widely popular, it gained attention for its unsettling appearance. It resembled a medical restraint more than a beauty product, often compared to the face mask worn by Hannibal Lecter. The face glove promised to purify skin through induced perspiration, but its real legacy lies in how far people were willing to go for cosmetic improvement. Today, it stands as an unsettling trend of beauty standards. Number 3. The Sandborg massacre ring forts and stone structures are common across Europe, but Sandborg on the Swedish island of Öland stands out for darker reasons. In 2010, archaeologists found a mass grave there that likely contains the entire population of the fort, victims of a massacre around 1500 years ago. It's believed the attack took place during the migration period, when the Roman Empire in the west was collapsing. Roman coins, glassware, and arrowheads were found at the site, but they appear to have belonged to the dead rather than the attackers. No one knows who orchestrated the slaughter or why the community was targeted. Theories range from internal betrayal to an outside invasion triggered by resource disputes or alliances. Today, local folklore still warns children away from the site. Even without clear answers, the ruins of Sandborg preserve a chilling moment in history, one of violence, disappearance, and silence that still scares. Number 2. Victorian tear catchers. Victorian mourning customs were full of symbolism, and one of the more peculiar items was the tear catcher, also called a lacrimatory bottle. These slender glass vessels were believed to capture the tears of mourners during funerals. Once the tears evaporated, the official mourning period was considered over. Though similar bottles have been found in ancient Roman, Greek, and Etruscan graves, there's no definitive proof they were used the same way. In Victorian Britain, however, written records confirm their role in grief rituals. Tear catchers often appeared at funerals and were kept by widows as keepsakes. Some folklore claims the practice reached America, particularly among women mourning Civil War soldiers, though hard evidence is scarce. Many supposed ancient tear bottles were more likely used to hold perfumes or oils. But in Dabri, 19th century England, tear catchers were a tangible part of loss, symbolizing sorrow, time, and closure in one fragile, handcrafted container. Their emotional purpose outlasted their physical use. Number 1. Medieval shame masks. Bringing shame upon yourself or your family is never ideal, but in medieval Europe, it had its own uniform. If you were deemed guilty of gossip, moral failure, or defiance, you might be forced to wear one of these grotesque shame masks. Constructed from cold, rigid metal, the masks were intentionally humiliating. Each was uniquely shaped to reflect the wearer's specific offense. A long-tongued mask might be assigned to a known gossip. Someone considered filthy might be made to wear one shaped like a pig. Evidence suggests these devices were used throughout Europe until the 1700s, with a brief appearance in early colonial America, brought over by Puritan settlers before the practice quickly fell out of favor. Though now viewed as eerie museum pieces, they once served as public punishment, shaming the individual while reinforcing community values. What once caused fear and discomfort is now preserved as a reminder of how societies have historically weaponized humiliation as a tool for control. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.